Okay, today's date, April 19th, um, 2011. And it says HRM, Caesar St. Augustine de Buonaparte, Emperor of the United States of Turtle Island, and also known as Reality Supreme Being. I've also been known as Caesar S. Augustine, ex-presidential candidate since 1984 when Reagan and Mondale ran. Anyway, so here we are, about a little more than 30 years later. And almost 30 years later. And starting about, like I said, if you've checked all my other videos, you'll see that, yes, there are people that are abused in this country. I was watching CNN today. They talked about the First Lady's airplane being 3 miles away from another airplane. You know, they're spending so much tax dollars on all this, and even news media. They get all this publicity on two planes being 3 miles away from each other, and oh, it should be 5 miles. Oh, over that 2 miles, even though nothing happened and nobody was hurt, they're going to make a big squawking deal about it. You know, talk about a waste of time. Anyway, so what are we talking about today? All the different news items on the list, you know, stuff going on in Syria and Libya and the wars, and the few messages I got from a couple of people who were aware about the Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission. You know, I've done more than 30 videos, and none of them got any views. Not really, well, didn't get a lot of views. Didn't break no 4-digit figure, whereas, you know, sex and nude stuff and all that gets, like, you know, 7-digit figures into the millions. So, but even with that many views, how much money have those people made? Most people that get on their 15 minutes of fame on CNN, just a minute ago they had the Waco, Texas thing, the anniversary, and the anniversary of the Miramar Federal Building when it got blown up. So you got all these people talking about all this stuff, and it's that nonsense. You know, before my life was destroyed by LAPD, the fire department, the false arrest that went on, the damages that I reported, the police brutality I reported to Internal Affairs, which is like I said in one of my other videos, asking the fox to take care of the hen house. I mean, this is all bull crap. And why would I be on here if I'm criticizing YouTube for the conspiracy they have going, and every other media outlet, even the rag magazines, the what you call them, the tabloids? It's all a conspiracy, man. It's human beings totally out of control of everything that they set in motion, because everything you set in motion is what counts. Now, in my past, there are, if you looked into my altercations with authority figures, doesn't matter who it is, okay? Even when I was running for president, you'll have huge gaps of years with me not wanting attention, not, what was I doing in all that time? I mean, there's one period where, there's a 14-year period where I'm working hard and I'm doing my thing, and something comes along and destroys my life. And it's the U.S. federal government, state, federal, and local. I don't care about the Separation of Powers Act. That Separation of Powers Act is all bull crap. So let's go and talk about what was going on today. And as a matter of fact, I put a note here. The note says, you know, I wouldn't even be on YouTube. That's how busy I am. I've got like 30, 40 projects all going at the same time. One of them was a spherical oil tanker back in 1979, which would have prevented the majority, I'd say 99% of all the oil spills ever created on this planet would never have happened if someone with authority had supported me and given me the backup money or the research money so that I could put the first, you know, prototype out and show people that it actually would work. But they don't want to do that. No, they want those oil spills. All along, the insurance companies are involved. Big money games that people play mentally and psychologically are unbelievable. There's so many of them. In other words, it makes such a huge noise you can't even hear yourself think anymore. That's how many involved, intermingled conspiracies and plans and schemes are going on the planet. It's no wonder people just want to go home, close their door, just do their stupid job, get their check from check to check is barely what they're living. Some of them end up homeless on the street like me. So on YouTube, you know, I wouldn't even be on YouTube. As a matter of fact, most of my stuff during the year and almost 2 years that I was in the house on Hart Street and DeSoto in the San Fernando Valley, where I had my big political sign saying that we should have a revolution. That's why they attacked me in the house. I was trying to literally get some kind of revolution going. And what's my kind of revolution? I was telling people, don't pay taxes. Tell everybody to go to hell. Look, Donald Trump is doing it. I don't know whether he got the idea from me or not, but he just said on CNN he won't turn in or divulge his tax return stuff from 2010 or whatever it is he's saying he's going to do. He's going to withhold paying his taxes unless Obama shows his birth certificate. Now, hey, he says he wants to run for president. Who would want to be president? You'll just be another puppet for the Bilderberg Group and the Trilateral Commission. You're a puppet for the Rockefellers and the DuPonts and the Mellons and the Ford Motor Company and the Coca-Cola Company. You don't think I'm telling you the truth? George Carlin made a joke of it once before he died. He says, you're not in control. These people are in control. He talked about it on stage. Wouldn't put me past it wouldn't surprise me at all if most of these people that come up and say something, that their illnesses aren't engineered by these people, and that's why they die early. Because you're rocking the Bilderberg's group. You're rocking not the billionaires. You're rocking the trillionaires' boat. That's what you're rocking. These people are a close-knit club. They scratch each other's back forever, and their families, their nepotism, their kids, they bring them up to do this. Just like terrorists are brought up, kids in the Mideast are brought up to be terrorists. Rich people bring up their kids to protect the foundation of the huge money conspiracy that breaks the back of poor people everywhere on the planet. And you don't believe me? You know, this is why they attacked my house. This is why they took all my cars, my boats. You know, I was on the verge of creating a house. Get this. At that corner, I was on the verge of creating a house where your total electric, gas, and water bill here in California for the year that you're operating that house of a 4 people with mom, dad, and 2 kids would be no more than $100 a month off the grid. Whether you're paying bills to Edison or DWP or whatever your power company, your house set up the way on secondhand materials, easy to do it yourself. You could run your house on $100 a month because all your power needs would be the power companies would be paying you money because your meter is going to be running backwards. And all of this off used secondhand stuff. And mind you, the conspiracy is so big, why they took all my stuff from me, why they sabotaged my life repeatedly, is because it's a plan of the government to get rid of every old piece of machinery, anything, any evidence of anyone that can take that secondhand machinery and use it to gain a benefit like $100 a month for all utilities for a full year, every year for the rest of your life. The power companies, the power structures, the Trilateral Commission, they don't want you to do that. Mind you, if you go back and study Nikola Tesla's life, J.P. Morgan, when he found out that Tesla said everyone's going to get free electricity by plugging their plug for their house into the dirt, that's when J.P. Morgan removed all of his funding. See, they want you as slaves. The energy and the stuff that I'm talking about that would enable, as long as there has to be a social structure, a big change. Everything has to be changed, and I know what that plan is. These people don't have that plan. I'm the only one that has that plan. And it doesn't involve religion, and it doesn't involve demigod, and it doesn't involve, when I say I'm the Emperor of the United States of Turtle Island, that's just a symbolic gesture. That's because that's a representation of a protest against all the military that has killed innocent men, women, and children all over the damn world. And your American dollars that say "In God We Trust" has paid for the deaths of those children. So if you're a Christian or a Jew or whatever you are, You say you believe in God. What, if there is a God, when you die, what do you think God's going to say to you when God asks you, did you take that money, American dollar, that has my name on it, and spend it and give it to the military to kill children? Did you do that? You're going to have to answer yes. And God's not going to care that you say, well, I carried protest signs, I was against the war. That's bull crap. If there's a supreme being, I guarantee you, the supreme being uses ultra common sense. And this common sense is going to work against you. Now, I'm not saying there is or there isn't a God, but I am saying that by you continuing to do this behavioral thing, you're gambling with the unknown. Because you got no proof you got a soul or not. You can believe all you want to, but hey, physical proof. Prove to me there's a God. You got no physical proof. There's a lot of science surveys out there that say near-death experience, the white tunnel at the end of the light, that there is a soul. Well, I'd worry about it if I were you, because there's a lot of information, a lot of religious books that says there's punishment waiting for those that do this crap, that kill innocent men, women, and children that want nothing to do with the war. Any war. You're the people that are stupid, and you're beating a gift horse in the mouth, and that's me. You've already destroyed my life. You've made me grind my teeth away. You've taken my cars, my boats, my motorhomes. You have destroyed my life. What do you want me to say? That I like you, the United States of America? I hate you. You're keeping me prisoner here. So I wouldn't have time to be on YouTube. I wouldn't. This is why I wrote my little notes on. I wouldn't have any time to be on YouTube because I'm too busy experimenting. I'm truly a scientist at heart. A musician, a scientist. I work on things to better the reality of living. And this society works on destroying people like me, little at a time, until they either, one, commit suicide, or they get them so sick from beating on them, and I'm not talking physical beating, I'm talking psychological beating, that they eventually get sick and they die. And then they sit there, or their offspring sits there, whoever takes their place, and says, well, at least we got rid of him. He was just a jerk, another crazy person. Like I said before in my other tapes, if I am crazy and I do have a mental problem, is this how you treat for 30 years a person with disabilities? Is that America's historic so-called we represent freedom, liberty, and all this good crap you hear on the what you call censored news media, the controlled news media that keeps me totally in the dark? I could go on a debate with Trump, Obama, every stinking congressman and senator, and I bet I'd beat the crap out of all of them. And they'd be hiding under a table or hiding in shame somewhere after I was done with every last one of them. And I'm not the only one that thinks like this. You think I'm on an ego trip? I'm not. I'm not on an ego trip because there's a lot of people that are thinking like me. So what you need is an emperor. And when I say emperor and a dictator, a guide. That's my interpretation of an emperor and dictator. A guide that has a lot of common sense, a lot of knowledge about science, and is able to point you in the right direction. I've been pointing in those right directions for more than 30 years. Look at my oil tanker. It's a sphere. You turn it round and round in the ocean. You punch a hole in it. You turn it upward towards the surface up here, and the oil spill is up. You just have to change the way you build oil tankers. Would never have had any oil spills. But this is what you people like. You like to keep these people in power. They've maneuvered you into a place where you have police, military, you have anybody that can shut you down when you say you're going to attempt to violently overthrow the United States government and every 50 state of the Union. And the only way to do it is to sacrifice. Sacrifice, and I'm not saying you don't have to do anything violent. Just stop paying your taxes. Supposedly, there's 45% of the people in the United States are expecting a refund. That's according to CNN, if that's the truth. If that's true, if everybody, they're going to delay those payments because of the budget thing that's going on. They're going to use that as an excuse. What about the other 55%? You know what? Protest. Don't pay the tax. Screw them. They won't be able to run their war anymore. Simple. It's a shutdown thing immediately. Because then if they continue the war, they'd have to explain how they're doing it, where they're getting the money. All right, it's 15 minutes is up, just about. Goodbye. I hope you have a nice day. and this is all over.